Alright, next match. 128 against darkChaos23. So, we're on this water map. Before the match, I noticed the opponent's juggler is not on Bracer. I think it was on Spirit Boots or something. So with that knowledge in mind, we do something different here. We apply Ragnarok to Ares. So here, Ares does not get banned. We're just gonna second pick the Ares with Ragnarok to threaten this juggler. Now between Weiler and Liana third pick, Weiler probably better. Weiler's Strengthen is on a lot lower cooldown than Gospel here. And later on I do pick up these two units, which all need attack buffs of their own. I only have one Gospel. But here, after the pick and ban phase, we see that the one unit that I really have to worry about is this Mystery Knight. So the goal is to have this Hiei threaten this Mystery Knight, have the Ares threaten this juggler, and then we have this Ashram as backup in case my juggler gets jumped on with this smash. And then we have a Summon Skyarcher here. Can't really remember what's the reason that I brought this for. So because my opponent does not have a Gospel here for this juggler, I brought the Heal Reversal Curse of Looming skill, Fist of the Immortal Flame, just to threaten the juggler as well with this Hiei. So while moving these units here, I already counted what are the potential possible plays my opponent has for this Mystery Knight. If he used the Wind God Realm on turn 1, this is as much as he can reach with this Mystery Knight. So this line is as far as I can put my units on this first turn. And as soon as my opponent used the Wind God Realm aura, I knew that all I have to do is just wait out this one turn, and then he's not going to have this up for the next 5 turns. And also looking at this Luna, it's very high defense here. With Bracer, so never going to attempt to kill that with Hiei. Not that it's Hiei's business anyways. Hiei really have to threaten this juggler or the Mystery Knight. Once one of the other two, one of these two goes down, but the rest of the team just falls apart. Because I can use the Ashram to take out the tankless team, or if Mystery Knight goes down, then they really don't have a way to kill anything anymore. So, simple. He also used the Miracle early here, so I can just wait this out, wait 2 turns, wait for Miracle to drop, and then engage. My opponent runs forward with this AoE. Really doesn't accomplish much here. Because I don't even have to do anything with Liana, just summon Skyarchers, drop it here. Oh yeah, now I remember what's the purpose of the Skyarchers. This was in case my opponent's Mystery Knight had just enough range to reach me. So what I meant is, if one of my units is standing right at this spot, if this juggler was right here, and it's in range to be attacked by this Mystery Knight, I can use the Summon Skyarchers to block exactly here. That way this Mystery Knight have to kill the Skyarchers first, or they can attack into all the rest of the team here. So allow the Skyarchers to block Mystery Knight's reach right here. But instead, I really didn't need to do that. At least, not from how my opponent played. It was simply unnecessary because they used the Wingard Realm early, and it didn't threaten anything. Now the backtrack is on cooldown for 2 turns. Mystery Knight is pretty much useless until the backtrack cooldown ends over the next 2 turns, so I can just push up all the units here forward and threaten my opponent with them. So there's attack blessing. I'll respect the spear and just stay out of range. Here I complain about not getting a breeze on Hiei, where my breeze is. This MK breezes, I don't get a breeze. Not fair. Here, I push up all my units pretty far forward. Right. This Ares is now out of guard range, not like I had magic guard anyways, but it's moved here to threaten attacking into any of these units, which can potentially pull the juggler out of water. And rather than staying within here, Mystery Knight moves out. So at this point, the jugglers still have a very good number of buffs here. And I don't really want to, jump the gun too early and attack. Look at the health, it's probably blood packed here. Yeah, but my Ares here doesn't have any damage up buffs. Let's have Ragnarok against a non-bracered juggler. So damage should be good, but I'm not sure if it's still good enough to just one-shot the juggler if I don't dispel the water buff. So the Mystery Knight moves away, which gives me a lot of room to just move up and pressure the map. I move up the ashram here, freezes, and covers most of the map here. Mystery Knight still cannot use backtrack, so I can't really threaten much here. So my opponent doesn't want to use the Juggler 3C still, and instead goes for the rewind, just to reapply Triton. So I move up my juggler here. I'm out of Triton, but it's alright. It's not like he had Magic Guard anyways. And it's not like this Luna is going to threaten anyone anyways. Since I have an attack skill using Holy Pegasus, not going to kill any of my units here. Really this Mystery Knight that I had to be worried about. So my opponent's juggler here goes for the recast of Triton. Now he only has 4 buffs, which means my Ares can dispel 3 of them. So I go for the attack here. I move past one of the units, is within range of 4 of his units, so Ares gets a huge boost in attack, crits the attack, and one-shots the juggler. After combat, he gets to move back. Oh, Ares, pretty good. Still full health, this last right, still pretty tanky here. So now I just have these two units moving last. If my opponent's Mr. Knight goes for the kill here on the Ares, I can just move in with Hiei and finish off the Mystery Knight. Or if Luna attacks into this, I can pretty much try the same thing. Just moving Hiei last. Here he goes for the Luna. Attacks the Ares. And then after combat, it's not actually at full health, but looking at the defense, it's pretty tanky. So instead of moving in, just move up the Ares, move up the Hiei to better cover the Ares. That way I can use the Hiei for the next turn to attack. So Mr. Knight doesn't go for the attack, but he does run down the backtrack cooldown. That gives me just enough time to run back the Ares. So run it back here. But it's just in range of my opponent's Mystery Knight's AoE here. And Ares goes down anyways. Not that much of a big deal, but if I just ran the Ares up there instead, the Mystery Knight's AoE would not be able to reach that specific square. Yeah. So Mystery Knight had cover on these parts of the map. I just ran Ares further to the left, out of Juggler Guard range. That would have been fine as well. But one small mistake, I guess. I'll reapply the Gospel onto Ashram. Here's where I make another mistake. I used the Sky Charge to attack the Luna here, just to break the last rites and threaten them to heal up Luna again. But I attack here instead of pretty much anywhere else. And it's blocking a good jump spot for my juggler. If I had this square open, I could have next turn jumped in with juggler, landed right here, and that would hit everyone. Instead, I have to hit somewhere else and not hit the Mystery Knight. So my opponent goes for the heal here. I go in for the jump. Have to avoid the Mystery Knight, unfortunately, and hit these. So now I can make attacks within range of Juggler Guard. So Hiei can attack freely and not really having retaliation attacks here. Hiei kills off the Luna with a double attack. The Ashram kills off one of the healers. Mystery Knight doesn't have an attack buff, goes for an attack on the Juggler. Doesn't do a whole lot, and that ends the first match. Oh, my opponent flexes in this other tank, but he goes for the first pick Juggler. So again, we're gonna go with the same bands. Zard the D-Lit, very good for Juggler and against Juggler. So I second pick D-Lit. D-Lit is very good against Juggler and Gospeling Juggler. Very good. You can basically ignore the spells and stuff. So my opponent here really picks the Liana here. So he does get a Gospel here, but I'm okay with that. Looking at the Gospel pickup, I ban out these units, which are just regular magic damage dealers that can ignore Juggler's Guard. I don't want to bring Magic Guard on Juggler if I don't have to. So I'm just going with the time units here. Deal it into a faction buff for deal it. I get Luna, so I can pretty much expect Heaven's Guard Ares and play accordingly. So why not just go full time here? And I still have 3 healer last, so I get choice of healer here. And I decide to go for the full time. Aside from juggler. So as expected, we do see the Heaven's Guard, but Heaven's Guard have a rough time going through defensive terrain. So we can see I do here is put every unit I have as far up here as possible, as far north as I can. I'll hide behind these water tiles, hide behind these forest tiles. That way is, if the Ares does want to engage on me, you have to move through these rough terrain. And for cavalry units to move through these terrain, it takes them 3 mobility points just to cross one of these rough terrain. So he does have Luna here, but I just put stuff as far away as possible. It reduces where Ares can actually attack me from. So he sees that I pretty much hide behind the rough terrain here, and he doesn't go for the plus mobility. I put a Yusuke here, which he can't reach with Ares on this turn. He also did use the act again on turn 1, so I'm now player 1, or moving first with turn priority here. That's a good use of act again when you're player 1. You have to give up turn priority, but it's alright if it means you can use act again offensively 2 turns later. But here I get pretty lucky here with a bunch of breezes. So Ashram gets some additional range. I'm now not really afraid of this Ares jumping in anymore, because it doesn't have any attack buffs. And I have quite a number of buffs on this juggler for the Ares to dispel. So he doesn't want to make the engagement here either, even though I make it possible for him to engage. But he's too afraid of it. Pretty much decides not to do that. So I just push the Ashram for some more, cover pretty much the entire map again. Yusuke breezed transformed, also covering the entire map. And now with these 2 actions, or these 3 actions left, I figure it's a good time to start threatening my opponent with this juggler jump. So here, I teleport to this spot, so I could have teleported here, maybe threaten jumping over here, but that's not a good jump spot at all. Because if I jump here, my opponent's juggler can jump over here, lock me, and lock my juggler down. Next turn, this fog is going to come up and then kill my juggler in the fog. So that's not where I want to be. Let's have Beast Shock as well. I want to jump somewhere farther away, where it's locking them down in the fog. Or I can just lock down this Rachel. Because Rachel have range attacks, I don't give Rachel a range attack target. She can only cast Gospel or use Arcane Blast, and never cast Dark Reaper. My opponent here just jumps in with his juggler kind of early. Because look at this Liana action. Liana is not in range to support the juggler. This Rachel can only use Arcane Blast on my juggler. So I look at, my opponent's actions available here and conclude that he cannot support this juggler jump in. So there's no reason for me to engage and give him a target for Rachel to attack. So I'm going to just jump this juggler away. Up here, where it's still guarding my most important units, the Yusuke and Ashram. Or really just the yeah, I guess both of them, since Ashram can potentially die to a Ares attack with 3C and Noble Charge. So I guard them, I don't really care about the Iris if she dies. We still have plenty of damage available. And now we're just jumping here and making it impossible for my opponent to do anything to support the juggler this turn. So he moves up using Gospel on the juggler. He can actually dispel because he didn't have Gospel before and got his water removed and replaced with debuff water. So he can dispel. And again, looking at where this Rachel can move. Rachel can't do anything if I don't put a unit within her range. So rather than going for a melee attack, which is potentially able to kill the juggler, I just make this range attack just to stay out of Rachel's range. So Rachel moves up without being able to do anything, giving me all the time I could have wanted to kill off the juggler for free. So now, opponent pretty much lost the game at this point. Panic Ares jump, but not like he could have done much about it. Attack into the juggler, dispels the 2-range guard, not that it really matters. But it does not kill the juggler. And the juggler still have water, still have all the attack conversions, and have Beast Shock ready. So juggler is able to kill any unit here. Juggler, Yusuke here can just punch any unit here, and then Ashram can also just free fire on any one of these units. So Ashram takes out the Rachel, which is the next most threatening unit that can potentially kill the juggler. Gets that kill easily. This Luna without an attack skill does not do that much damage to the juggler, since juggler is missing most of his troops here and have the Iris teleport, so he does reduce a lot of damage thanks to his talent. 3% reduced damage for soldiers missing health, so he has about like 27-ish% damage reduction from talent, 20 additional from Iris teleport, and then lobsters reducing 50%. So even the lobsters are very tanky, and then juggler himself very tanky, taking pretty much no damage from this Luna. And that's the game. Can kill the dog, I can Beast Shock, get a kill, and then Yusuke can punch, get a kill, and then game's over just from the opponent juggler jumping in too early. There's no support, and it just dies.